SourceLifeRadio.com.
Download the free Source Life Radio app from your iTunes or Google Play Store.
Yeah. SourceLifeRadio.com. We're live on the air. Thank you for tuning in to Rugged International Show each and every Friday. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Big shout out to Foxy Roxy. Get well, baby. Yeah, man, we're here. I got my guest. He's in the building, man. And he's no stranger to the industry. You know, he's been doing this thing for a long time, man. And I just want to welcome the Source Life Radio and the Rugged International Mix Show. I wish I had my applause, man. World renowned from Brooklyn, Skyzoo.
Yeah.
Welcome, brother, man.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Peace, man. I'm here, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming through to the
Oh,
show.
nah,
man.
absolutely. Thank you for having me as a guest. You know what I mean? I'm digging what's going on. I was here for a little while, got here a little early, just peeping the scene, the vibe, you know, the energy in the room and all that, and what you playing. I'm loving it. So good things indeed.
Appreciate that.
Word
that,
up.
man.
Yeah.
So we want to, you know, the people want to know about Skyzoo, man.
Yeah.
You know, so from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
First of all.
100%. Yeah.
What part of Brooklyn? You was
From the
born in
Sty.
Brooklyn?
Yeah. I was born in Crown Heights and then I moved to the Sty as a little kid. So
Okay.
grew up in the Sty. And then I also lived in Southside Jamaica, Queens for a while too. So when I was in high school, my pops moved to Queens. So I was juggling back and forth, you know, and your parents are split, so you go back and forth.
Okay.
So I was doing that. So
back and forth to Queens and Brooklyn.
Yeah, from Brooklyn to Queens.
So you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Southside, man. That's my second home. You know,
what's up.
Merrick, Linden, and all that. You know
Shout
what I
out to
mean?
Queens.
But I'm from the K, so you know, we here repping, man. But for those who don't know, you know, I'm Skyzoo, Brooklyn, New York City as a whole. You know, the goal is to make sure that the city is repped right in whatever I'm doing. And anybody from the same backyard, you know, should kind of move on the same agenda. You know, that's kind of how I move around. And you know, the pen is what I'm known for. You know what I mean? From my work to the ghostwriting I do for a lot of people to all the different things I be juggling. You know?
Absolutely. You're known for the bars, man. And
Yeah.
the way you spit.
Yeah.
You don't really talk about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You spit on a different level.
Yeah, you know what I do.
You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And what I do, you know, it's always a story and an agenda involved. So, you know,
Got you.
a lot of my music is about coming up outside and being outside, and you know, they call it corner store rap and bodega. Like, that's what I do, but from another side of the fence, you know, because I'm a kid who, you know, growing up, being from Brooklyn, being in the hood, the whole deal, but you know, I always went to school as advanced placement. You know, I was AP English my whole life, you know, so I take that and I take everything I know about the corner and being outside my whole life and put the two together. So, you know, it's kind of a, you know, a Ivy League approach to street rap.
That's
and what's
crazy.
going on in that. And it's just something, you know, it wasn't something I set out to do. It's just something that happened because anytime I make music or I rap, you know, it's me being myself. So me being from one world and introduced to another world and merging the two in the middle was just who I am as a person. So whether I rapped or not, it would be what my agenda is and the way I view the world. So with that being said, you know, when you listen to my music, you know it's lyricism, you know it's bar heavy, you know it's double and triple entendres and double and
Heavy
triple meanings.
intellect.
Yeah,
Heavy
and
intellect.
and you know I talk about the bottom and what it's like outside and the both sides of the fence. You know, I talk about all that. So, you know, and then the goal at the end of the day is just to get busy though. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, if you're not getting busy, then what you here for? So the goal at the end of the day is just getting busy, you know, and making music that everyone relate to. And, you know, thankfully I'm at a point where, you know, that's been the story where people are like, yo, I relate to all that, you know, because music is two things. You either escape to it or you relate to it, you know. So
I like that. I like that.
you either escape to it or you relate to it,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know.
It's
So
all relative, man.
yeah,
Music
so
is relative.
my music you relate to, you know.
Got to. So now, you know, just to take it back and get a little history of Skyzoo.
Yeah.
How did you start rapping? Like, who were your earlier inspirations?
Yeah, well, growing up in the K and, you know, the late 80s and early 90s, mid 80s and all that, you know, hip-hop was around. You couldn't get away from it. You know, you in the Jacks on the 18th floor, you look out the window, the guys outside is shooting dice and you hear hip-hop. You know, that was me looking out the window 18 floors down in the Jacks, you know. So it's like that's what it is, and you couldn't get away from it. And I ain't want to get away from it, you know. So I came up. My parents was young when they had me, so it was getting dropped off to school. My pops is playing NWA and BDP, and my mom's was playing Big Daddy Kane and Kid and Play. It was just everything, you know what I mean? So I took all that and ran with it, but I really started with the pen when I heard Chi Ali. Age ain't nothing but a number. Okay. When I heard that, I was 9 years old.
Shout to Chi Ali.
Absolutely, that's big,
from
bro.
Brooklyn too, right?
Nah, he from the Bronx.
Oh, you from the Bronx?
Yeah,
Shout
Chief
to
from the
BS.
Bronx. Yeah.
Shout to Chi Ali anywhere you at, man.
Yeah, I think he in DC now. I think he's staying out of DC, but that's big, bro, for real. But so
just to take it back with Chi Ali, what inspired you about Chi Ali? Was it that he came out young, or
that's exactly what it was. Because with Chi, when he came out, he was like 14, 15.
Yeah.
So I saw that as I could do that because he was young. I was only 9, but he looked like the guys in my building. He wasn't so old where I couldn't relate to him and there was no connection. But at the same time, he wasn't young enough where he was my peer. He was a couple years older than me, so he looked like the cool guys in the lobby that I walked by when I went to school every day. So I was like, yo, I want to be that guy. And when I heard, the age ain't nothing but a number, and I saw the video, that was it. I was like, that's what I'm doing, and I never looked back. So, so I started rhyming from that. But, just growing up on it all, man, the trinity of Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas to, the Wu to Scarface, 3000, just everything that we all grew up on. And for me, I always was attracted to the lyricism. Anybody who was going for it, that's what I went for. Anybody who was really coming with it, that's what attracted me, and I was like, that's what I'm on.
When Biggie came out, at that time, it was the West Coast pop. I don't know if you remember that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the West Coast was popping a lot.
Yeah.
I remember Snoop Dogg came out, and then Biggie came out.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Right. So how was that influence to you? Like, cause in New York, we was like, wow.
I'm gonna tell you how real it was as far as the influence. I grew up a block away from Biggie. You know what I mean? Like I grew up on St. James, so it's like I saw that. Like I saw when Juicy happened. They shot the video. They shot parts of the video around the corner on Fulton Street up the block. You know what I mean? So we saw that as little kids. I mean, I think I was 11, 12 when all that was going on. I think I was like 12 years old.
Right.
So I was old enough where I was already rhyming, and I was like, yo, that's Chris from up the block. Yo, oh, snap. Yo, that could happen. You know what I mean? Like, it just made you realize, yo, that could happen. So my friends and I was like, yo, that's a reality right there. And, I remember the whole West Coast run, Dre and Snoop and all that, and it was amazing. It was an amazing time. And then just to see the swing come back, because New York was still there, of course, Redman and Das Effects was going on, and we always had our influence,
Absolutely right.
Nas came out with the greatest hip-hop album of all time with Illmatic. The Wu came out. All these different things was going on, but from a worldwide commercial standpoint, while still being from the bottom and still having the street and the respect of the core, the swing came back with Big, with Ready to Die, between when him and Puff put together with that, the agenda was to bring it back. Yeah, so the swing came back 100%, and I could say I literally saw it. I was up the block. I was the little kid sitting on the steps when that was going on.
Now let me ask you, because I know a lot of, I know for me personally, I used to write a little bit back in the day.
Okay, word up.
I got a little influence when I heard Biggie, and I started, not to mimic his style, but just to, wanted to rhyme like him, because he had
inspiration.
A whole lot of metaphors. He was coming with the bars just so heavy.
Yeah.
And of course Nas.
Yeah,
too,
absolutely, absolutely.
Was it the same for you?
For me, like I said, I always was attracted to lyricism, and it was Big. Same thing with Nas. You saw the picture. Right. You saw the whole thing, like Big throwing the clothes out the window. Yeah. So when the wind blow, I see my polos and timber. So you see it. You see Shorty open the window and throw the clothes out, and he downstairs yelling up at her like, yo, what you doing? Like, you see it all, you know what I mean? So, and like I said, just being there for that, all that stuff on Ready to Die, I was the little kid going up and down the block, going to the store, going to the pizza shop, playing ball at PS11 Park. So I saw all that, you know what I mean? So it hit home that much harder, because it wasn't like, oh, that's on TV. It was like, yo, that's up the block past the light. You know what I mean? Like, so that was that.
Let me ask you, do you remember your first song that you ever recorded?
Recorded. I was just gonna say ever wrote. Recorded. Because ever wrote would be bananas. Nah, because I was like 9, so there's no way. Okay. I know it was about whatever was going on out the window. I know.
Okay.
I remember looking out the window and writing about that. But
Like as far as recording.
yeah, recorded. Nah, I actually don't, man. I mean, I remember the first time being in the studio. I think I was like 14, 15. First time in the studio at like a homemade studio that this older dude in my neighborhood had, and everybody knew I rapped. Everybody knew I got busy, and I would tear it down in front of the store, rhyming and all that, and getting busy in the park. And I went to the studio and did something. Who knows? Who knows what that sound like was so long ago? But
Somebody got that tape.
Yeah, right. And it's literally a tape. You know what I mean? Like it's literally a cassette tape. It's literally
That's
like
how we used to do it back
then.
You know?
It's a TDK. I promise you that. You know what I mean? Word up.
Shout to the TDK
Yeah,
tapes, man.
it's a TDK. I bet you that.
The 90-minute and the 60-minute TDK
Yeah,
tapes.
yeah.
That's where you got your mixtapes from back in the day, if you ain't know.
That's where the term came from.
Oh,
You hear
man.
mixtapes, you know?
Yo, listen, man, we in the building. We got Skyzoo in the building, man. Listen, we going to play some joints off of that, The Easy Truth. We're going to get back into
Let's do it all, yeah.
into the interview, but I want to get people familiar with the music. I got all types of phone lines ringing off right
Yeah, it's
now.
going down, man. Source Life Radio, you already know.
You know what I mean? So we going to get to this music. Got Skyzoo in the building. 347-855-3308 is the number. Man, call us up, man, if you want to hear something. You want to shout Skyzoo out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Love.
Let's go, man. We're going to get to this joint right here.